Kaspa dropped under 1.5 cents. That is the cheapest price it's been since 90% of you even knew what Kaspa was. That was the largest liquidation event in all of crypto, but a V-shaped recovery looks like it's coming, but I am a little hesitant. I believe there is structural damage done to crypto. Is Kaspa okay going forward? That's what we're going to look at in this video. What is the overall health of Kaspa right now in relation to the rest of cryptocurrency and altcoin season, guys? We're going to get into all of that, but just a reminder, cryptocurrency is extremely risky. None of this is ever financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your own research. Now let's get into Kaspa. As you can see here, Kaspa dropped over 80% from the day down. You could see right there. That was absolutely crazy. But what caused this? What was it? Long story short, for anyone that doesn't know, Bitcoin started selling off. There was a whole bunch of perpetual long positions that got liquidated. Cross margin altcoins got hit extremely hard. Some of them falling down 70, 80, 90%. But I think this caused structural damage to crypto as an industry and as a liquidity market. So what does that look like? Is this all good? Because right now, when we're taking a look at it, it kind of looks like a V-shaped recovery. If we're taking a look just from the day of where Kaspa is currently, it's about 17, 15%, right? So a bad month, not the largest liquidation event in crypto history. And I honestly think we are going to see a lot of projects failing, top 100 projects failing, even large trading institution, maybe market makers, people with large assets under management. This was the largest liquidation event ever. So how does the network health for Kaspa look? And then I want to get into what Bitcoin is doing and where I see this going in the next 6 to 12 weeks, maybe even less. So let's dive into that. Coming over to Kaspa, we know at the time that is the cheapest that most people have ever seen that knew about Kaspa. I mean, if we go back to the weekly, you could see this right here, this price that it hit, it wasn't there since March 6th of 2023. A lot of people here never even heard of Kaspa. That's less than Kaspa was when I originally got into it. And so this was crazy. So guys, if you were able to get this low wick anywhere between 1.5 to like 3 cents, let me know. That is absolutely a deal of a lifetime in my opinion, but this does not look structurally healthy to me if I'm taking a look. So that's what I want to break down in this video. But whenever we come over here, we know Kaspa is the best blockchain that it's ever been. 10 blocks per second. The ability to grow and scale DeFi through KAS is better now than it ever was. Better now than it ever was at all-time highs over here at 20 cents, you know, when it was a $6-7 billion market cap. It's a lot better than that. When we come over here and we take a look, we can see transactions per second 9.5, blocks per second 10, like we just talked about. But you could see ever since September 27th, active addresses have been going up, and we're seeing some transaction count spikes, but the active addresses going up is making me happy. And then when I come and look, who is getting into it? And whenever you look over the last 30 days, octopus, fish, dolphin, most importantly, sharks and dolphins, guys, the kind of middle, the core of Kaspa. If you take a look, this makes up 45% of the overall Kaspa. If we just take a look, 210, 29 and 9. If we come over here, that's 20%, 25%, and 21%. That's over 60% of the bulk of Kaspa. That's the core of Kaspa. It has been gaining holders within the last 30 days and within the last 7 days. And whenever we come over here and take a look at the hash rate, we know the hash rate, if we go back to all time, it shot up extremely quick. There was a lot of hype with Kaspa, and this hash rate matches the all-time high that we looked at recently. But you can see, if we go back ever since around July, we've been on average steady around 600 petahashes. So that shows me that it is a healthy network. And so now I believe Kaspa is a healthy network. It is growing. It has built the perfect foundation. That's exactly what it is a foundation to build DeFi, to build Web3. But we all know that BTC leads the market. It is still the gold of cryptocurrency, even if Caspa did what Satoshi originally wanted to do. So we need to go take a look at Bitcoin and see what it's doing. And I'll let you know my honest opinion on where I think Bitcoin is going. So coming over here, and I also posted this on X. Make sure you check out the X if you do not already. And also make sure you sign up for the Discord. 69% off using code FAM69, guys. Trust me, you won't regret it. We have very, very few people leave the Discord once they sign up. I guarantee you that. But let's go break this down on the weekly, and I'll let you know my couple trend lines. Basically, we have this red trend line that is basically since the depth of the bear market, this trend line has been intact. And then we have this green trend line that has been intact since the start of the bull run. We're going to call that around the 40K BTC price range. And then we have this yellow line. This yellow line right here is the 50-week simple moving average. And you can see that we have bounced off of that every time that we get down to it. And so what I am looking at, if we kind of zoom in right here, is it does not make sense to me to really believe that we're on a V-shaped recovery and we are going to act like what happened in crypto with the biggest liquidation of all time doesn't matter. And I do not believe that. I think at a bare minimum, we are going to challenge these lows right here. But there is a lot of fight. You can see this candle got sucked up right here. That is on the daily. So it's still looking very strong. I've had a couple opinions on this as of recently. You know, we could potentially make a head and shoulders up here. But either way, my overall opinion is we are going to at least challenge this zone, which correlates with this trend line right here, the red one, which is the trend line we've had since the end of the bear market. But the one that I think will be the most bullish setup is if we came down here and we tried to test the 50-week simple moving average. So this is the daily simple moving average that I showed you earlier. I meant to be on the weekly, and you could see that we have really utilized this as the bull market support band. If we come take a look back here, you can see we have stayed above that the entire time. And so whenever I'm looking at the ultimate pain for retail, for investors to think that the bull market is over, it would be another challenge there. And I'm also looking at this trend line. So I think within a week, this right here is October 20th. This right here is October 27th. If you're looking at the vertical striped line that keeps moving right there, it makes a lot of sense for me to see BTC challenge these levels. And then from there, I would be bullish on an uptick. I also believe this is the case for Ethereum, but what I do not think is the case, I do not think we are going to see the lows match for some of these altcoins, including Kaspa. I do not think so, because this was manipulative. This was not real. This was perpetual future short. There was even a DPEG over on Binance with a stable coin, a very, very prominent stable coin. So I do not think these lows will be challenged again. But if we did hit the 103 range, I would expect a new natural low to come in. I would expect this range right here, 4.5 to 5 cents. Now, guys, I could be completely wrong. None of this is ever financial advice, but that is just personally what I'm thinking. Make sure you follow me on X to follow all of that. I put up to the minute what I am thinking, but overall, we definitely had some damage done, guys, that we don't know yet, whether that's market makers, whether that's very large investors, traders. There was definitely a lot of liquidity in crypto that probably is not coming back. It probably left the market, and also it just hurt, and it's a bad look overall for crypto. So we got to do a better job with market making, with regulation, with all of that stuff to make cryptocurrency safe for everyone, but also not be too regulated where we can't have any type of growth, you know. But coming over here, altcoin season 35, it feels more like 15 right now. When you look at the ETF inflows, down almost a bill today, 0.75% of a billion. Bitcoin dominance currently at 58.6. So What I am saying, with Bitcoin going down to these levels, alts would go down a greater percentage. So if we're looking at Bitcoin potentially going down 7%, we could see alts go down 15 to 20%. And that would cause Bitcoin dominance to jump up a little bit, which I think would actually be good, because we could see we had this large retrace back here from about, what is this, about 65% to 58. I could see this ticking up to around 51, 52% before then falling for the last time. We're definitely in a downtrend when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, so I like that a lot. When we're here, we're definitely on a downtrend from 65%. But I want to know, were you affected in that liquidation? I hope not. I hope you are okay. But what is your thesis on Caspa? That was a huge liquidation. I honestly didn't think there was that much long or even short attention. I didn't think there was that much leveraged attention on Caspa. But guys, we've seen some very bad stories. Christian got completely liquidated, having his funds on a Kraken, using those to trade, and it's just a bad situation all the way around. But I want to know what you think. Are you still bullish on Caspa? Watch this video up above, and if you're not a part of the Finance Freeman family, guys, what are we doing? Subscribe. I love you all.